He was deputy chief. And as you rightly said, the deputy chief of the Air Force is the man who is actually responsible for the buying of equipment. Now, that being the case, he was deputy chief for 3 years. And it is very possible that he had a very strong hand in as far as this Augusta deal is concerned, and therefore the Augusta scam is concerned. 3 numbers are being looked at, and they are very significant numbers. The cost of a plane, of an Augusta chopper, is working out in current prices to $50 million. In comparison, an Apache chopper, which is a much more expensive helicopter, it's an attack helicopter, comes up to about $58 million. And a huge chopper called the Chinook, which is a troop carrier, is coming at $60 million. These are all comparable prices. In a real sense, the Augusta chopper should not have been more than $35 million. So where did the money go? What kind of negotiations took place which allowed this to happen? And clearly, N.A.K. Browne, Air Chief Marshal N.A.K. Browne, now ambassador to Norway, was deputy chief. All the agreements, all the discussions, all the price negotiations, he would have been involved in. So if he were involved in all this, which is why the investigative agencies have now feel that he is the man who is under the scanner, and his role is being looked at. The other people who are also being looked at are staff officers of certain chiefs. Who are these officers? Where are they now? What kind of role did they have? Because a lot of times there is a suspicion that the money would have not changed hands directly from the people who were paying the bribe to the people who were receiving the bribe, but it was taken through the offices of these junior officers. So that too is being looked at by the investigative agencies right now.
Well, Shanjoy, this is Anand here. Now, two aspects. One, this is the second former Air Chief Marshal who's now under the scanner. After SP Tyagi, it is N.A.K. Browne. Is it also possible that N.A.K. Browne would be actually quizzed to try and understand who was taking the decisions? And if you remember, as we peruse through the detailed court order of the Italian court, there were some handwritten, acronyms which were used, abbreviations which were used. Was a Deputy Air Chief of Staff mentioned there?
The answer to both questions is yes. To take your first question first, second question first, yes, Deputy Chief is mentioned there. First, it says, if you look at that page, though that's not conclusive evidence, but it says Air Force. And underneath that, the first name is Deputy Chief. At that time, for most of the time, for those 3 years almost, Air Chief Marshal, later Air Chief Marshal, and then Deputy Chief and Air Marshal N.A.K. Browne was actually Deputy Chief. He is the man who dealt with all these procurements. Underneath that are 2 more names, or at least 2 more acronyms. Principal Director, Staff Requirements, the PDSR. That is a man who worked directly under Browne. Then there is FTT, Flight Testing Team. That too was directly under Browne. So as a result of all this, and more importantly, the fact that he was deputy chief, the numbers for the purchases are as skewed as they are. Browne comes under the scanner, and investigating agencies are now looking at his role as deputy chief, not as chief, but as deputy chief in the investigations.